A dangerous threat is spreading beneath New York, hiding in the shadows, seizing control of the underground, regrouping in a maze of deadly urban dungeons. We are this city's only hope. A team built to fight the unknown, eliminating our enemies and reaping great rewards along the way. And yet, the rumors continue. Terrifying whispers of the Four Horsemen. Powerful cleaners hell-bent on burning out the virus once and for all, cleansing the city deeper, purifying it in ways no one could ever imagine. We are gonna end this madness. It's time to gear up. It's time to take back the underground. Get all 3 major expansions and exclusive bonuses with the Season Pass.
What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Narakius over here at Narakius Gaming, and today I got some special division information for you guys. All right, before we get started, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and let's get right into it. Now, I'm not going to talk about all the old stuff that I already talked about as far as too much of the new gear sets. We already know we having a new Incursion and etc. As we already know that the PS4 update has been delayed and will not be released until a further date, but the Xbox One will be releasing and the PC will be releasing tomorrow. All right, so you guys have nothing to worry about if you guys own one of those consoles. If you guys own all 3, then you good. But we're going to talk about some of the new stuff that came out on the patch notes today, and I will leave a link to everything that I'm going over in the description below, so you go check it out for yourself. Now, I'm not going to cover the entire list because it is extremely lengthy, but I'm going to cover some of the highlighted parts about the list that are very, very interesting that I think you guys would be very happy to know about. Okay, so without further ado, let's get right into it. As we already knew, we knew that we was getting a new Incursion known as the Dragon's Nest. Okay, now it's easy said and done. All you have to do is complete the General Assembly to be able to do the Dragon's Nest. If you haven't done the General Assembly, then you won't be able to do the Dragon's Nest. But all I do know about the new Incursion is that it is full with cleaners. So that means those flaming guys, those big ass heavy dudes with the big flamethrowers, it's gonna be a bunch of those guys, and that Incursion seemed like it's gonna be hella fun, and I cannot wait until we could play that Incursion, because out of all the cleaners and all the enemies in the division, those are one of my favorite enemies to go against. I don't know why. I just love the flames about them, right? Yeah, they melt people, but they hella fun. I know I said I wasn't going to talk about any of the weapons that I already covered already, but just one particular weapon I do want to cover so you guys don't get your wires crossed on this one. The weapon called Blind. It's an assault combat rifle. It would not be in this 1.3 update. All right, unfortunately it's going to come out in the 1.4 update, but they do not go on and talk about the reason why it's not going to be. I mean, they do that every update, so we're kind of used to it by now. All right, they did that with the sniper rifle, they did it with the AA, and now they're doing with the combat rifle. So this is like a thing right now. They kind of give us a nice weapon, they show it off, and then they say nope, you're not going to get it right now. So the 1.3 does not have the Blind combat rifle. Is going to come out in the 1.4. all right, but what I am going to go on and talk about, we do have a list of new high-end weapons and weapon types. All right, now one thing that I've noticed is that they're pushing the assault rifles into this game to the max. I want to believe that they're trying to veer us away from the SMG and make the assault rifles be the new thing in the game. And here's why I say why. These are some of the guns on the list. Actually, these are all the guns on the list that are going to be new in the 1.3. All right. First on the list, we have a military G36 assault rifle. Second on the list, we have a G36C assault rifle. Third on the list, we have a G36 enhanced assault rifle. Fourth on the list, we have the Super Pulse SVD marksman rifle. Then we go on to have the Paratrooper SVD marksman rifle. Then we have the PP-19 submachine gun, and also we have the enhanced PP-19 submachine gun, and also we go on to have the X45 pistol plus the new first wave X45 pistol. Now, if you notice, they have variants of some of the same guns. So they have it in the enhanced, they have it in the original version, and they have it like in the first wave version. And yes, the showstopper is on the list, but you guys should already know that. They already said it's going to come out in the 1.3, and is a unique fully automatic shotgun, all right, which they say is going to be perfect for close quarters. So I can't wait to use that gun. Out of all the guns in the game, shotguns are one of the guns that I want to have some of the best powers on it, so it could be used against PvP players. But as of right now, it looks like it's only good against PvE players, but I'm still going to use it in the Dark Zone because it's the AA. I mean, if you guys don't know what the AA, you guys should definitely look it up. It sounds gorgeous, all right? Moving on. Of course, we all know we're getting a new heroic mode and a challenge mode mission, right? Well, it looked like the Division took a step further and went above and beyond on this one. They went ahead and added challenge mode difficulty for 2 new main missions in the game that we already have. And they may sound familiar if you guys haven't heard of them before, which I doubt that you have. One is known as the Hudson Refugee Camp, and the other one is known as the Queen's Tunnel Camp. They both have a new heroic mode difficulty added onto them. But keep in mind that the enemy scale has taken another leap. You will not just be fighting like the level 34s. I believe it's going to be a mixture of the 34s, and we do have level 35s into the game. But they also go on to say that this is some of the best way to get some of the high tier geared out weapons and I guess gear sets into the game, okay? Now, another thing I want you to keep in mind, heroic mode will not be released until 1 week after tomorrow, I guess. Same thing like they did with the challenging mission when the new Clear Sky came out. They let us get the hard, and then 1 week later, they released the challenge mission. All right. And they also go on to say that the heroic mode will not only be available just for those 2 missions, it will be available for every other mission that we do. So that means all our daily missions that we're doing now, the heroic mode, and that's going to be another way of you guys leveling up for the heroic mode. If you guys didn't know that, heroic mode has its own bracket, okay? You're going to see that there's a new bracket. You have your division bracket, you have your PvE bracket, and then now you have an underground type green bracket. I was wondering where they're going to do some update to the base of operations besides the HVT and all the other good stuff, but it looks like they have expanded the base of operations, guys. New inside of the base of operations, we have something called the terminal. It's a new shared social space inside of the base of operations, okay? The terminal can be found in the back of the base of operation next to the reward claim vendor. You can now go into your base of operations and visit all your vendors for new high value target contracts at all new vendors. And also, the special equipment vendor has now been split into 2 vendors within the terminal. Items vendor and a blueprint vendor. That sounds incredible. Players can also fast travel directly to the terminal. To get an understanding on this, the terminal, I want to say it's something inside of the base of operation. You remember how you guys would have to fast travel from outside of the dark zone, then you would fast travel to the in front of the base of operations? I think now we can fast travel directly inside of the base of operations, but don't hold me to it. This is just my understanding and my speculations to what they mean about fast traveling to the terminal, okay? Something else new that came to the game that we were all waiting on, and I've been saying this for the longest that this game needed it, and they finally implemented it into the game, and I'm so happy about it. I just hope it works in my favor to the best of my abilities. Is the new weapon recalibration, okay? Now, here's some of the things you just need to know about the weapon recalibration table. We all know that the weapon recalibration table, you will be able to re-roll certain talents on your gun, but certain talents on your gun that come set already, like they usually give you that random free set bonus, you will not be able to recalibrate that. It's usually in the 3rd slot. That 3rd slot, I don't think you would be able to recalibrate that. It's probably just going to be the first 2, all right? Now, another thing that you need to know about the recalibration table is that to recalibrate weapon talent now requires weapon kits and also your Phoenix credits. Weapon kits can be acquired through drops in the game or crafted. So people been complaining saying that the Phoenix credits were useless and they take up a lot of space, etc., etc. But now I guess they're trying to make the Phoenix credits as more useful as possible. But the weapon kits, I do not want you to get it misconstrued. It is not the same as your weapon parts. Weapon kits are something new that they implemented to the game that they did not talk about, so I do not know too much information about it. But apparently you can actually craft it and you can get it as drops in the Dark Zone, all right? They hit us with a new one right here that I did not see coming. We already knew that we were getting new gear sets and, new weapons and everything. What we did not know that is coming to the game, that there are going to be some changes to your gear sets now. And here are the changes, which I think is going to start up maybe a small uproar, not a too heavy uproar, but it's going to have some controversy, and I guarantee it, all right? Every gear piece now has a set number of mod slots that cannot be recalibrated. These changes only affect gear that drops after the update of 1.3. Each gear piece will now have any chest piece that you acquire after the 1.3 update will now come with a standard 2 mod slot. A mask will come with 1 mod slot. Knee pad would also come with 1 mod slot. Your backpack will also have 1 mod slot. Gloves and holster will have 0 mod slot, okay? And not to mention, your holster will now always have all 3 attributes at all times, no matter what. And after watching the new state of the game that I already posted on my channel, if you haven't seen it, make sure you go check that out. One of the devs said that there are no longer recalibration to where you can add mods on your gear set. So I want to say that these standard mod slots are exactly like what we have to deal with, and that is it. I don't believe we can actually reroll a different attribute and put a 3rd mod slot on our chest piece or put a 2nd mod slot on our mask. So that's going to kind of change a lot of people build, because a lot of people build are definitely, and I mean 100%, build on mod slots. You need the mod slots to kind of tweak out your build, to kind of give you that extra boost in whatever attribute that you need. And that's going to cause a totally different meta in the Dark Zone, which in a way it's a good thing, and in a way it's probably kind of bad thing, because it's going to mess up a lot of people's builds and it's going to feel like we're starting all over again. So we'll just wait to see what happens with this after tomorrow. All right, all week long we've been hearing that the Sentry Call and the Striker battle gear sets are going to take a nerf. The new changes that came to the gear sets known as Sentry and Striker, to my opinion, is a little crazy, because it looked like they took a nerf, a major nerf to my opinion, and it's look like it's gonna be a little different using these. All right, well, basically we already know when you ran the 2 set originally, you would get the 30% headshot damage, and the 3rd set you would get the 20% damage to elites. This is using the Sentry Call. Now when you run the 2 set, you get 10% headshot damage, and if you run the 3rd set, you get 10% damage to elites. And also if you run all 5 sets, you get 20% headshot damage and a 10% damage to elites. So now they're trying to increase the damage to elites so we can actually get through the APCs, because PvP is not only the live players are our enemies anymore. We are actually fighting against the ads, and the ads hit really hard. And if a lot of you solo players are like, they're looking out for you guys, because if you guys didn't have a group, then you would never be able to go to the 05, 06 era of the Dark Zone by yourself. So by adding the 20% headshot damage and the 10% damage to elites, which is actually, I don't know, it's actually a decrease to my opinion, because before when you ran the 3rd piece, you get 20% damage to elites. Now it's only 10%. I don't know. There's like they're nerfing it while they're making it a lot harder, but it looked like they're trying to look out a lot for more of the solo players and the PvE players, which I feel like we're taking a backseat to the hardcore PvP players. But that's just my opinion. Now, moving on, we have the Striker Battle Gear set. All right, now usually when you run the 2 set, you would get the 20% enemy armor damage, and then you would get the 3rd set, it would give you 50% critical hit damage. Now on the new gear set, when you would run 2 gear sets, you get only 10% enemy armor damage, and now when you run a 3rd gear set, you get 20% critical hit damage. That is a major increase right there. And if you run all 5 sets, you get 10% enemy armor damage, plus you get a 30% critical hit damage. Now, to my knowledge, that is added on with the other 20% and the other 10% from running the 2-piece and the 3-piece. So if you think about it, it's actually giving you more when you run all 5 sets. But do we want to run all 5 sets is the question for that particular gear. Because to my understanding, when I look at this, it looked like they're taking us away from running that 3-on-3. You know, 3 strikers, 3 sentries, 3 sentries, 3 strikers. However you want to put it. It looked like they're trying to take us away from that kind of build and trying to force us into running 5 sets build, which in my opinion, I think is really fucked up. All right, we already know that the Dark Zone was going to take a buff, but what we didn't know if they were going to add more Dark Zone areas as of like Dark Zone 7, Dark Zone 8, and Dark Zone 9, and etc. But it looked like they didn't do that in this 1.3 update. What they did do is increase the NPC level. All right, now in DZ01 to DZ02, we will have level 33s. From DZ03 to DZ04, we would have level 34s. In DZ05 and DZ06, we would now have level 35 NPCs, okay? And in DZ05 and 06, gear score brackets now went from 201 to 230. And we'll have a chance to drop better gear score weapons, as we already know the 229 high-end weapons, also with 268 high-end weapons, okay? So this is going to be incredible. I wonder if the 229 and 268 high-end weapons are going to basically have better stats and what kind of stats they're going to have on them, okay? They also made a major buff to the Dark Zone chests. They now have a better chance as dropping us the gear score bracket weapons, all right, known as in that Dark Zone area that you in, okay? And that's going to be it for this video right here, guys. It was a lot of information. I appreciate everybody who hung around to the end. All right, make sure you hit a like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And also, I'm going to leave a link to this exactly information so you guys can go check out the entire list yourself and read on some of the things that I did not cover as far as like the gameplay changes, which that list is very lengthy. And if I was to cover that, this video would probably be like 45 minutes to almost to an hour long. And nobody want to sit through that, all right? So, it's your boy, MhmhMM. Make sure you leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And I'm going to see you when I see you. Peace!